Hey, this is Reese from Stamper's Journey Coach, and welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I will be showing you how I made this Western themed card. It is rodeo time here in Houston, and I've been wanting to use this stamp set for a while, so I thought today was the perfect opportunity to do so. This card is a lot of fun to make, and while it might look complicated, it's fairly simple, as you will see in a few minutes. I am using the Wild West bundle, which includes the stamp set and the dies. Of course, anytime you buy a bundle, you save extra money. I do recommend the dies for this stamp set, since cutting that horse might be a little bit time consuming by hand. I also use the bloom cluster die and the sun rays die for this project. And my sentiment came from Birthday Girl's stamp set. Never underestimate how you can combine stamp sets, as you can see in this project. My card base was made with pumpkin bread cardstock and lemon drop for the sun rays. To color the images, I am using pan pastels, some from the Rich Survey collection and some from the Party Pops. I wanted to use browns, oranges, yellows, reds, and later on I also grab the black and the deep purple. I start by adding orange in the middle of the rays and then browns on the outside, and I wanted to use the gold pan pastel, as you can see here, but I didn't really see much of a difference, so I just stuck to just a plain yellow one. I concentrated on the outer edges just so the middle of the sun could pop even more. And this is the bloom cluster that I die cut, and I color it with browns, some of the dark purple, and I just kind of added some color on the edges, and as you can see here, it made a big difference and it looks pretty good with the background. The Wild West stamp set is one of the originals, and back then the stamps didn't have the index stamped in the back, so it's just blank in the back. But no problem, you can always use the front cover to see the details of the image. Using dark roast ink, I stamped both in oatmeal cookie and on whipped cream cardstocks. I wasn't sure which one I wanted. I ended up using the one on the oatmeal. I like the color better on that one. And I also stamped this image with both dark roast and oatmeal cookie, and I like the oatmeal cookie better since it was supposed to be in the background of the cowboy. I wanted the cowboy to be the main focus of the card. Using my detail shears, I go around the image. I know I won't be using the whole image, but I'm not sure at this point how much I will be using, so I color the entire image using brown, purple, and black, just so it could match a little bit better with the background. Now I am ready to work on the sentiment. I use clear pigment ink to emboss the golden powder. And the sentiment reads, "It's all about the attitude," so I wanted it to be very nice and shiny. So our golden embossing powder is perfect for that. I also stamped directly into the bloom cluster, and it did stain my ink pad just a little bit, so in retrospect I probably would emboss first and then add color to the bloom cluster. That is our heat gun, which I highly recommend. It heats up very nicely and gives you a very nice result for the embossing powders. Here I added some of the clear pigment ink to the acrylic block, and using my blending brush I am just grabbing it and putting the ink just on the areas that I want the golden to stick to. This is my first time trying that technique, and it worked out pretty well. I also had some of the powder stick to the rest of the image, but I decided to leave it there just to see what it would look like, and I'm glad I did. It gave it a very nice golden shimmery look throughout the horse as well, but not as much as the areas where I actually added with the blending brush. And for the sentiment, I decided to add some long fishtails on either end. I used my Grand Pro shears. If you have not tried our scissors, I highly recommend that you do. They cut beautifully and they're so smooth, you will not want to cut with any other scissors again, I promise you that. To raise the sun rays die, I used a lot of foam squares. I used the large and the small and had to cut some in half. And then I decided that I wanted to add a little bit more of color to the cowboy and the horse, and I just used what was left on the sponge. I did the same for the sentiment. This card will have a lot of dimension, so I added the stamped image with foam squares, and then I decided to cut the bloom clusters in two just to be able to adjust it as I wanted it. And for the cowboy, I used double the foam squares just to have it raised even more than the other images. I used the craft glue to secure the blue clusters to the background. And here you see me adding a little bit more brown to the cowboy. And some foam squares for the sentiment as well. And to help minimize the white of the foam square from showing, I'm using a thin black marker to color the edges that are most visible. And the final touch is to add a braid made out of natural twine, and this will be made to look like a rope. And all you need to do is cut 3 strings, braid them, and then using oatmeal cookie, run it through the braid just to stain it just a little bit. I used journey glaze to add the loop to the back of that stamped image, and then the rest of the twine will be secured using glue dots. And to help secure the end of the rope, I added a glue dot and tucked it behind the cowboy image. To help conceal some of the extra glue dots showing, I used my bloom tool, and it makes it a lot easier to just kind of tuck the extra adhesive in. And now the card is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you give this card a try. If you would like to order any of the products that you saw in this video, please go to funstampersjourney.com/AnnaReese. If you're on Facebook, come and visit my page. I have the latest promotions and events information. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, please message me or email me to annareese@annareese.com. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.